All right, math stars, I really hope you're keeping up with your journal and writing all your notes in one place. And today we're going to do a quick video on squaring binomials, but first we need a list of some of the perfect squares. So if you would copy these down and write down as many of the perfect squares as you know. For example, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, and so on. And then when you're done doing that, go ahead and unpause this video and then we'll proceed with our lesson. So hopefully you wrote down these perfect squares. This would be a good list to commit to memory if you don't have them memorized already, or to just keep in your journal in the handy spot so you can open to this whenever you need. So the purpose of today's lesson is for you to be able to expand or multiply out an expression like this using a shortcut. So when you were in Algebra 1, what you probably did is you probably wrote a problem like this side by side because, as you know, squaring means to multiply something by itself. And then you would multiply that somehow, the distributive property or FOIL or the box method. But we've gotten more sophisticated since Algebra 1, so I don't want you to do it that way anymore. What I'd like you to do is do it mentally and just be able to look at this problem and write down what the answer is. That's going to help you be more fluent and more efficient as you get into higher level math classes. So here's the pattern. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the first term and square it. So I'm going to write here in the notes, and we'll do this problem in a second, but I'm going to write first term squared because that's the first thing we're going to do. First term squared. And if we were in the classroom, which we will be hopefully soon, I would have you guys call this out kind of like a cheer or chant. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply the terms and double. Multiply the terms and double. And then the final thing that we're going to do is we're going to take and do the last term squared. First term squared, multiply the terms and double, last term squared. Okay, so let's go back to our binomial, which is over here, and we're going to square that first term, so x squared. Then we're multiplying together a -2 and an x, and when we multiply that, we get -2x. Doubling it, we get -4x. And then last term squared. And we square that 2, which on the list is 4. When you square something, the output is always positive. So you're always going to have a plus sign in front of that last term because you're squaring something. And it happens that this sign is going to come over and be the sign on our second term. That's our lesson for today. We're just going to go through a couple more examples so you guys can get a little bit more experience with it. So let's do one like this. 2x plus, let's say, 3 squared. Okay, so again, to summarize, we're not going to write it side by side and FOIL it. We're going to use our shortcut. So we're going to do first term squared. Well, this first term has a coefficient and a variable. We have to square both. First term squared. Multiply the terms and double. So +3 and +2x, multiply them, you get 6x. Double it, we get 12x. And last term squared. And remember that last term is always positive because we squared something to get it. Okay, that's it. That's our task for today. Okay, let's do 2 more examples. Let's say we had x minus 6. First term squared. Multiply the terms, so -6 times x is -6x. Double it, -12x. And last term squared. 6 squared is 36. The most common mistake is that people forget to double that middle term. Multiply the terms and double. Just be cautious of that. Okay? And lastly, let's do one that looks like this. Let's kick it up a notch and let's put an x squared here minus 3y. What? Yes. Okay. First term squared. Well, when squaring a variable, double the exponent. So for example, y cubed squared is going to be y to the 6th. Or if I had z to the 10th squared, doubling the exponent, we get z to the 20th. Okay, so this example above that statement I just wrote, first term squared, let's double the exponent. Multiply the terms and double. When I multiply these together, I get negative 3x squared y. Negative 3x squared y. I double it, so I double the 3, so I get negative 6x squared y. First term squared. Multiply the terms and double. Last term squared. Now square the last term. You have to square the 3 and the y. That's our lesson for today, squaring binomials.